aftermath of Daniel Dubois' defeat to Oleksandr Usyk is quite daunting. The manner in which he was demolished by Usyk was devastating, and that is going to have an effect on his mental state as a fighter and ultimately on his career. It's going to be a hard, long road back to the top again for Daniel Dubois. You see, Daniel Dubois did not do himself any favors during the build-up of this fight. Dubois said Usyk was old. Dubois said he was going to go in there and he was going to go and demolish Usyk. Dubois said he was going to make Usyk look like the older man in the ring. Dubois showed Usyk no respect leading up to this fight. And it's always very hard to come back from a loss when you thought the other fighter was done. When you thought that you were going to destroy the other fighter and then you get destroyed. Don Charles, Daniel Dubois' trainer, also did Daniel Dubois no favors. Don Charles taunted Oleksandr Usyk and his team. Don Charles' son also added fuel to the fire. And you could see that Usyk came into the fight with a lot more venom, with a lot more intention to do damage. And Usyk was loading up on every single shot he was throwing in that because he felt the disrespect during the build-up of this fight from Daniel Dubois, Don Charles and the whole team. And Usyk wanted to make a statement. And my goodness, we got a statement in that fight. It's going to be a hard, long road for Daniel Dubois if he wants to get back to the top of the heavyweight division. The truth of the matter is, a lot of the top guys in the heavyweight division right now are looking at Daniel Dubois like breakfast, lunch and dinner. These guys are looking at Daniel Dubois like he's food. They will be thinking, if you can stop him from throwing that jab, and if you can stop him from landing that right hand that he's so successful with, and if you can put it on Daniel Dubois, you can get him to give up. You can get him to lose confidence in himself. You can get him to feel sorry for himself in that fight. And you can get Daniel Dubois to give up on himself. And that's exactly what we saw in this fight against Oleksandr Usyk. Daniel Dubois thought that this fight was going to be easier because of his recent form. Now, I made a video talking about the fact that we don't know whether Daniel Dubois has changed mentally, when a lot of people in the media were saying Daniel Dubois is a changed man. They were saying Daniel Dubois is coming in this with a great form. A lot of people were picking Daniel Dubois to beat Usyk just because Usyk was 38. There is a difference between fighting Filip Hrgovic, who does not move his head much, and then fighting Jarrell Miller, who is like an elephant in that fight, and you cannot miss him because he doesn't move much and he comes forward all night. To them fighting Anthony Joshua, who is a very good fighter, but on that day Joshua made some schoolboy mistake. All of that is totally different to fighting a master, a veteran, an experienced fighter, one of the greatest fighters I have ever seen in Oleksandr Usyk. And I told people it is going to be difficult for Daniel Dubois to implement all the things he implemented in fighting those three guys before fighting Usyk. And we saw on the night that fighting Usyk, you don't get the same opportunities that you get when you're fighting Joshua or Miller or Filip Hrgovic. And Daniel Dubois had to learn the hard way. It is going to be a long, hard road back for Daniel Dubois, because with Daniel Dubois, everything is mental. With Daniel Dubois, it is all about what is going on in his head at that time. Daniel Dubois needs to overcome whatever demons he's got in him, because the same demons that he had to face during the Jojo's fight is the same demon that he had to face during the Usyk first fight. And that is the same demon that Daniel Dubois had to face in this fight against Oleksandr Usyk. And unfortunately, Dubois has not been able to overcome those demons. And that is the question that Dubois needs to be asking himself. Now, whether Don Charles is going to be in Daniel Dubois' corner in his next fight is yet to be seen. But Don Charles should have guided Daniel Dubois very, very carefully or differently in this fight. Can Daniel Dubois come back and become a top heavyweight again? Absolutely. Daniel Dubois is 27. It is all possible. But as I said, with Daniel Dubois, everything depends on him, and he's going to have to make a lot of changes around him. Now, is his father going to play a pivotal role in his career? He needs to ask himself that question. Is Don Charles going to be his trainer going forward? He needs to ask himself that question. Who are the people that are going to be around him to lift him up? Because if Daniel Dubois, once again, if Daniel Dubois is on a spectrum, then Daniel Dubois needs to have a trainer that understand how to deal with someone that is on a spectrum, because I have seen a lot of people make mention of the fact that Daniel Dubois might be on a spectrum and therefore processes things differently. And that is okay, because some people say whilst on a spectrum, you have some strengths that other people don't have. So Daniel Dubois needs to find a trainer or a manager or someone that can bring the best out of Daniel Dubois, because the truth is, Daniel Dubois is a talented fighter. Daniel Dubois has got the physicality and the ability in the ring. We've seen it, but it's all about his mental state. It's all about what he does mentally when things get tough. And as we've seen in so many fights, when things get difficult, when Daniel Dubois is not getting success, the success that he wants, when Daniel Dubois is not landing that right hand, when Daniel Dubois is not putting pressure on his opponent, when Daniel Dubois is being made to miss and made to pay, Daniel Dubois keeps feeling sorry for himself and he gives up. It is going to be a long, hard road back for Daniel Dubois at the top of the heavyweight division. What do you think? Get in the comment section and let me know. Honestly, what do you think about the state of Daniel Dubois' career at this moment? Do you think he's got it in him to come back to the top of the heavyweight division? Do you think he has the mental fortitude to overcome the demons that keeps evading him at this stage of his career? Who do you think he should fight next? Should he go back and fight a Joe Joyce? Maybe beat Joe Joyce to give him confidence? Do you think he still needs to stay with Don Charles as a trainer? Do you think he needs to change trainers? Which trainer do you think will be best for Daniel Dubois going forward in his career? There is so many questions about Daniel Dubois and what he does next going forward in his career. Get in the comment section and let me know what you think about it. My name is Bright. This is the Bright Show Podcast Boxing. If you enjoy boxing content, then please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and leave your comments in the section below. I will see you guys on the next one.